Hey guys, happy Monday. Today is July 6th. It's actually 11 p.m. I already took my trade earlier today. I was just super exhausted and I did not feel like talking. I'm not gonna lie, I did not feel like talking. I did record the trade, but I did not explain the trade. So I am back to just simply go over today's trade. So it's gonna be a super short video, but let's just get into it. So coming into this morning, I'm on the 4 hour. I had this zone marked up because price did break this structure here, push down. It came back to this zone to tap. So let me go ahead and put a disclaimer. This is not an A+ setup at all. But anyways, with this being a supply zone, what we would normally be looking for is price to come into the zone, tap the zone, and then continue down. Price tapped the zone, continued down, and pushed back up. So I came in with the mindset that if price could either do two things. Because we were so close to the trend line, if price pushed below here, I wouldn't necessarily want to take that trade until price breaks this trend line and pushes below this low. The other option is price could push above here and potentially invalidate the zone. I don't know if I was just super eager to take a trade. I don't know. But I said, whichever breaker structure or indication that price gives, that will be the direction that I take my trade. So price ended up pushing. Let's just continue. So anyways, so I put my indication or my breaker structure lines here and here, and I was just waiting for price to tell me that direct up. Now they showed y'all. Yeah, you so messy. You is so messy. Let's just act like y'all don't see it. Golly, just blew it. Anyway, so on the 1 hour, market isn't open yet, but as you can see, we have our two levels. And again, what we wanted to see is price either push above this line or push above this line. This was on the 1 hour, and obviously as I go down into the thing, it's just going to show y'all. So I am going to play the bar replay because this trade did take a while. I didn't take a trade until like 11 a.m., 11:30. So see what happens. This was a candle that pushed above. Actually, I can't even do it like that. Let's just skip to the 5 minute. And so we can really see what happened. I think market opened here. Yeah. So this was market open. Like I said, we had our two lines. We had our zone, which you already know. I'll redo this zone, and I'm going to keep this here because this was our trade. So we were either looking for price to break here or here. As you can see, price has been bouncing between these two levels. So we are waiting for a breaker structure. So let's watch. Price ended up giving us our breaker structure. As you can see, it broke to the upside. This would be our indication that price wants to push higher. It finally broke out of this area of consolidation. So once we get our breaker structure, we now create our zone. So let's create our zone. Our zone, since price broke to the upside, our zone is the previous candle of the opposite color. This is the area that price pushed out of. This is the candle. Hello? What is that? Sorry. This is the, please. Sorry, y'all. Okay, whatever. This is the candle that price pushed out of. So now what we will be waiting for is the price to come back, tap into the zone so we can get an entry, and then continue on up to our 1-to-1. We did a 1-1. So let's continue. as you can see, y'all, did not come back and tap the zone at all. So we are still waiting to get into the trade, and by this time it is 10:50 and there's still no trade. Tap. Finally got the tap, as you can see. So we don't need this anymore. So like I said, we have our zone. Came out of this candle. This candle finally came and tapped into the zone. It also closed outside of the zone. So there's 3 different entry types. There is an aggressive entry. So as soon as this candle tapped the zone, that will be your aggressive entry. There's a conservative entry. You wait for this candle to close. Once the candle closes outside of the zone, you can enter the trade. Or if the candle pushes down in the zone and start pushing back up with momentum, that's another conservative entry. And then your safe entry would be waiting for this candle to close, and the next close pushing above this previous candle would be your safer entry. So let's continue. First of all, I would be in this trade. I think it's the next candle. But anyways, let's continue. I don't think I got in that low. I don't remember. I did. I got in this candle. It was right. It was right. And that was the trade. That literally was the trade. I got in with the momentum. When this candle opened, it immediately pushed down and closed inside the zone. But once I seen this candle, there's something called there's different type of candles. And then one thing I do know is I don't know all the candle formations, but I do know some of them that are really important to me. And this one, for example, this is a strong buying candle. Price opened here. Sellers were able to push price all the way down, but buyers were able to push price back up. So this is indicating strong buying pressure. And then as you can see, the buyers stepped in. So I got in with the momentum coming out the zone, which is still considered conservative. I aimed for my 1-1. I did stay in the trade to see if we can hit the 1-2, but once price broke below this 1-1, I did get out to protect my profits. So that was the trade of the day. I am going to let it play through so you guys can see it. But we're just going to end it here. I'm not going to make this video any longer than it needs to be. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.